Hey guys, and welcome back to Simon's Rants. I'm Simon, and I just saw Rocketman, the new biopic about Elton John, and um man, so this was different than I was expecting. I almost wanted to go back and see it again before I actually gave my first thoughts, but then it wouldn't be first thoughts. So these are my actual first thoughts about it. Um And I don't know how I feel about this movie. Mainly because it really wasn't exactly what I was expecting it to be. If you're expecting a more serious or accurate biopic, you might not get that. Well, you won't get that. But if that's what you're expecting, that's not what it is. This was more of like a music video, or like a rock opera. It was a musical, first of all. So I was expecting something along the lines of Bohemian Rhapsody, on how they did the storytelling, and then there was constantly just like there was like a drama scene and then a concert scene, drama scene, concert scene, mixing in the music throughout, using some of the music as, you know, to kind of lay out the scene a little bit. In some of the scenes, like if it's a dramatic moment, then you have a sad song if you've got a happy moment. Or like in Bohemian Rhapsody, it goes from the part where he's standing in the rain, and then it goes and it's transitioning from that scene to the next, and Under Pressure starts playing, and it's like a very dramatic scene, and then you hear that bass line, and then you know what transition's happening. This wasn't like that. He just starts singing at times, and so do other people. It's a full-on musical. It's like The Greatest Showman, and in the same vein as The Greatest Showman, it's showy. It's not trying to be realistic. So if you're expecting it to be realistic, it's not. It's just not. And like, you even notice, especially early on, I noticed it. I didn't really notice it later on, so I'm not sure if it continued or if I just got used to it. But it's all very clean looking. Same sort of thing in The Greatest Showman. Even when it's dirty, it's precise dirty. It's very musical. It's very, everything is in the perfect place that it should be, and it doesn't feel genuine because it's not. It's very specific. And that's how this movie felt. It felt like a musical. It didn't feel like a biopic. It was not. And on top of that, I did look into some of the accuracy of this movie, and it's not in a lot of areas. They do spice some things up, and they do change some things, and some things are Elton John's account disagrees with relatives' accounts. So, like, he, in this movie, takes a very harsh stance against his parents. He's not too fond and doesn't present either of them in a great light. Whereas the rest of his family has come out and said, that's not how his childhood was like. That's not how the parents acted. And that's wrong. I don't know which account is more accurate, but regardless, in this movie, when it is showing them to be the way that he says they were, it does it in a very cheesy way. It does it in a very shallow way that doesn't really seem to give much merit to his point of view. However, like I said, the whole movie in of itself is rather shallow. It's not trying to be a deep study of Elton John. It's surface level, but look, he's dancing, and look, he's singing. So here's the thing. The style that they chose to do with making it into a music video worked very well at times. And other times, I just felt frustrated that I didn't know. I wanted to know more, and it wasn't giving me any details. Like, during the childhood phase of this movie, which they did spend a decent amount of time on, I was happy because I wanted to see more of that. That was something that Bohemian Rhapsody did not do. They just went, oh, you're stars now. This took its time with him as a child. And you've got him doing like his first show at a bar, and he plays the first couple of notes and sings a line, and then he gets up and is running around the bar as the piano is continuing to play by itself, and everybody's standing up and starts singing and dancing, and you're like, okay, I I wanted to have a more serious moment with that, but maybe that's just to do with my expectations. And then later on in the movie, I was more used to it, and it worked better because I was expecting it. That's what I'm saying. I don't know. This movie was very confused, and it left me confused, but you know what? At the end of the movie, I walked out with a smile on my face. So, I'm not saying that it's a great movie. I'm not saying that it should win an Oscar for anything. Anything. Except maybe Best Actor. He did a pretty darn good impression of Elton John. Here's the thing though. He wasn't Elton John. He was the essence of Elton John. He wasn't trying to sound exactly like him. And if you look at the costumes, they weren't even doing exact replications of his previous costumes. It was all about the essence of Elton John. So of course, therefore, his impression is imperfect. But it still felt very much like Elton John. I mean, there was not a single note, I think, in the whole movie that I went, that it sounded exactly like Elton John. He wasn't trying to sound exactly like Elton John, and if he was, I mean, he wasn't good at it, but I don't think he was. I think he was just going for the area of Elton John, the essence of Elton John, and it felt like Elton John. It really did, even though it wasn't an exact duplicate. So, anyway, getting back to the overall of the movie, yeah, it's not a perfect movie at all. It's not trying to be a groundbreaking movie, though. It's not trying to be, I don't think, an Oscar movie. I think it's just trying to be a glorified music video, which is what it was. Maybe Elton John wanted to make this into a rock opera so that it could be put on Broadway or something. There was a couple of feelings, like scenes that felt like that. But overall, it just felt like a music video. Like, there's moments where he turns into a rocket when singing Rocketman. Like, they're not trying to be taken seriously. And he's singing Crocodile Rock, and then he starts floating. You know, it's like, it's not trying to be taken so seriously. And if you're not wanting a serious biopic, then fine, this is a lot of fun. My problem is that there's moments in there that did feel genuinely serious and like it could have been a great biopic if you took those moments and made the whole movie like that. That's the part that's frustrating to me, was because those moments, those scenes made me sit back and go, man, this movie could have been great. It wasn't trying to be great, it was trying to be fun, and it was fun, but those few moments made me go, but it could have been great. So it's frustrating in that way if you wanted a great movie. This made me think, man, I can't wait until in a few years, not a few years, a couple of decades, they make a real biopic. And I don't want this to sound bad, but I think part of it was Elton John's involvement with this movie. He didn't want it to be a serious movie about him. He wanted it to be a lighthearted, fun music video, and it was. Like, I think they even recreated a music video or two in there. And it was fun. I enjoyed it. Like I said, I was smiling. I was tapping my feet. I was enjoying the music. I was enjoying the moment. But it wasn't a good, serious movie. But it wasn't trying to be. So, I don't know. I don't know how to feel about it. I really don't. But, you know what? Maybe you guys will know how to expect, or what to expect from this movie then, so you can enjoy it more, or you can go, oh, that's not what I want out of this, and then not watch it. I definitely would recommend watching it, though. I thought that there was a lot of great moments in there, some silly moments, some really cheesy moments, heavy-handed moments, especially like I said with the parents. And see, the thing is, there's a lot of emotional moments. You're going over a guy's entire career in life, and so there's a lot of big emotional moments in his life that are pivotal, and half of them are handled really cheesy and the other half are handled really well. I thought everything with Bernie, whatever his name is, the best friend. I'm sorry, I don't remember his name. Everything with him was handled really, really well. There's a moment where they're having a bit of a fight, and Elton John yells at him and is about to go on stage, and he's stressed out, and he yells at him, and he's walking out, then he turns back and just grabs him and goes, "I'm sorry." And then his friend goes, "I know." He goes, "Okay." And then he walks out on stage, and that was handled really well, like really genuine, really emotional, in just a small little moment. But like, it's something that if you have a best friend, you get that, you understand that, and you saw that they understood how that works, and that was great. And then on top of that, this is, if you know his story, along the lines where he's really starting to deal with depression and starting to come out, and he goes directly from that conversation to, he's in like this bird costume, and he goes out flapping his wings and jumping around and like, hey, hey, and it's like, that was so good. That was so good. And it's a kind of a theme that is brought back several times, where you see him going from his introverted, depressed mood and outlook to, hey, 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 and it's like, it's all good, but that particular time was, I think, the first time they did it, and by far the best time they did it. So yeah, anything that he did with it was involving his friend and writer was great. I loved their chemistry. It was amazing. Everything with their parents, his parents, however, not good. I don't think I liked a single scene with his parents in it. I thought they were all pretty bad. What else can I say? Honestly, I don't think that I need to get into spoilers with this, because, I mean, there's no real plot twists or anything to this. I've already really named everything that I wanted to talk about. So overall, the biggest spoiler is that this isn't really a biopic. Like, and that it's not very accurate to his actual life. They moved stuff around, they changed some stuff, and it's a music video. It's not, to be taken seriously. So take that as you will. I enjoyed it, but I understand that it could have been great and wasn't. I felt like if you took those scenes that were great and stretched out into the whole movie, this could have been the movie of the year, but I'm left going, I don't think this is going to be on my top 10. I just enjoyed it, but it wasn't great. It was good, not great. Just fun is the best way you can describe it. Very similar to The Greatest Showman, where that wasn't a great movie, but it was a lot of fun. Yeah, kind of in that same vein. More cheesy though, if you can imagine that. It's more cheesy than The Greatest Showman, because it's Elton John, and they're hamming it up because it's Elton John. I really feel like he was in control of the production of this movie to a certain degree. He really wanted to have his handprints all over it, and you can feel it. It is very Elton John-y. It is, the movie feels like it was directed by him. It wasn't, but it feels like it was, and it's enjoyable, just not what you might have been expecting. It wasn't what I was expecting. So yeah, if you wanted a more serious take on it, you're not getting that. And I guess I will go into spoilers just for a couple minutes. There's a couple of things I want to talk about, but yeah, it won't be long. So if you haven't seen it yet and you don't want to see the spoilers, you can click away now. But thanks for watching, guys. Make sure you like and subscribe and share. It helps me out a lot. Thanks, guys. Bye. But yeah, in the spoilers, so it does go over his suicide attempt, which this is kind of the moment where I got the most frustrated, because it's when it became a full-on Elton John music video, when it could have been something so much better, at least thematically, cinematically. So he, in case you don't know, he takes a bunch of pills, drinks it down with some vodka, and then jumps in a pool declaring, "I'm gonna kill myself." And he did that, which is pretty similar to what happened in real life. And as he's drifting down to the bottom of the pool, you see little mini Elton John playing on a piano and singing. And by the way, this kid could not sing, and it was really irritating. He sang multiple times throughout this movie, and I just could not enjoy little Elton John singing. It was bad. Anyway, and he's singing Rocketman as he's going down to the bottom of the pool with, I miss my home, I miss my life, you know, and that whole spiel. And it would have been very dramatic though if you just had the song playing. You didn't have anybody singing it. He was just, you know, slow-mo shot, silhouette shot, drifting down to the bottom of the pool, looking up, you know, light glancing off of his face, having that song play, like maybe even a more melodramatic version of it, have the actor re-record it in a more sad way, instead of using the original, but still not having him actually singing it, just having it as a backtrack. That would have been so much more powerful, so much more, you know, it'd just be emotional, it'd be sad, and it would be dramatic, and it would just, I don't know, it would have been better. And there's a lot of moments in that where they sacrifice a good moment for a music video moment. And they do that a lot, and it's frustrating. Like, I don't know. I don't know. Also, side note, they've really sacrificed a lot of the storytelling for this. And an example of that is, so he's been dating his manager for almost the entirety of the movie up until this point, and but they've been fighting for a while, and he's like, I don't know why I'm with you, yada yada yada. He's cheating on him, he doesn't like him, they're fighting, and then at one point, you have this scene where Elton John is in his room, and his manager comes in, and they say something, and then Elton John goes, I should have fired you when I left you. We never saw him leave. We never saw them break up. They didn't show that. And it's just kind of like, this is what I'm saying. It's a music video. It's like you're skipping around, skipping over, skimming his life and showing some music and showing some dance and showing some emotional moments here and there. But it's like it's a drawn out dramatic music video. It's not actually his life. So it's good, but like, where's the rest? So, yeah, I don't know. But I enjoyed it a lot. It just wasn't great, you know? Like, this wasn't some sort of great biopic. If you're a Elton John nerd, you'll probably be able to point out moments right away. I wasn't, but I did some research and found out, yeah, this isn't the most accurate thing. I didn't think so. But yeah, so I don't know, because moments of it make me feel like it's a cheesy 6, and other moments made me feel like this was an 8. So I guess it's somewhere in between, but I feel like it's more of a 6 than an 8, so maybe it's a 6.5. I don't know. But anyway, those are my thoughts. I know they were kind of all over the place, but like I said, I felt like I had to see this a second time before I could talk about it, but I wanted to give my genuine first thoughts. But honestly, it was so different from what I was expecting. Maybe I should have been expecting this. It's Elton John after all. It should have been like this. I should have expected this. But anyway, so those are my thoughts. I hope that helps, I guess. I don't know. Leave a like, leave a comment. Make sure you share and subscribe if you enjoyed. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.